To remember Pastor Cole is to remember Angola, the African nation that he and Naomi served so faithfully for so many years. It was 1948 when the Coles arrived, and immediately they began building churches, teaching leaders, and touching lives for some 18 years before Civil War broke out and prevented further ministry. But nearly 3 decades later, when the war began to slow down, letters started trickling out of Angola, and the Coles wondered if there might yet be still more for them to do there. Well, one return visit was followed by another, and another, and another. There were cargo containers shipped full of chalkboards for school kids who had nothing. There were wells to dig, leaders to mentor, and children to love. In 2003, I traveled with Pastor Cole to his Angola with a video camera in one hand and a tripod in the other for the purpose of collecting stories that we would bring back to his supporters. You know, as I look back on the experience, traveling with Pastor Cole, it was kind of like a graduate level class on what it means to be an effective missionary. No matter how long the day, no matter how overdue for lunch or supper, Pastor Cole always had time to talk to anybody. Boy, and how they loved to hear him speak their Umbundu.
Bosiane, Ukalale Hedie, Tapandula.
You know, there are 2 scenes that come to my mind when I think of Pastor Cole in Angola that I think rather define his style of ministry. First, a drive to Tulumba, the most wretched and forlorn stretch of roads that you'll ever see. It was only a 20-mile trip, but the roads were so bumpy, so twisted, and so rutted. It took several hours. I mean, look at this footage. Now you can see us nearly arriving, and Pastor Cole kind of hamming it up as we cross the bridge. These next scenes absolutely blow me away. I mean, finally we've arrived at Tulumba, right? And there are hundreds of people standing there, gathered around. They had no cell phones, but somehow they'd heard Pastor Cole was coming, so they came, many of them walking from 8 miles away or more, to meet him, to reconnect. Now, at this moment, I literally felt that this had to be what it was like to watch the Apostle Paul connecting maybe with the church at Ephesus or Corinth or Rome. Pastor Cole first met with a group of church elders with a special word for these leaders. Look at him encouraging, instructing. Again, just like Paul. Note the little boy clutching the rooster there, later given to us as a gift. It rode back with us in the car. There's a second scene I'd kind of like you to take in. It's a walk into town. Now, Pastor Cole and I have walked all over Quito. This is the main town in the area. And all morning long, we've been dragging our equipment, the tripod, the camera, the recorders, and I'm worn out. We've just finished lunch, and I'm looking forward to chilling out for a while. Pastor Cole walks into the room, and he says, "Hey, John, how would you like to go for a walk?" For 20 minutes, we walked until we arrived at the center of Quito. Then it was off the known streets onto twisted and, quite frankly, rather dangerous paths, full of dense foliage and roots in the ground that almost wanted to reach up and twist your ankles. In my journal, I noted, "It is a rare white man that walks these trails." Well, finally, in the middle of all this nothingness, we arrive at a tiny shack Pastor Cole recognizes. It's the home of the oldest woman that he and Naomi know in all of Angola. Well, they chat for a bit, and then Pastor Cole produces a small box from his pocket. I watch amazed as he slips a wristwatch on the woman's arm. It's a gift from Naomi to this woman. The scene is almost surreal. I mean, we've walked almost 45 minutes over tree-shrouded trails, lugging ourselves and video equipment. All this because it was important for the Cole family to express their love to an old woman in a small shack down a long trail in a far country. The least of these. You know, that's a phrase that was never far from Pastor Cole's lips. Maybe that's why he and Naomi loved Angola so much. It's a place bursting at the seams with the least of these. Twa Pandula, Pastor Cole. Twa Pandula, Chalwa.